on switch.
Yeah. So one of the things that I love to do in panels like this is very quickly turn it over to all these people who piled in here. They're already standing in line for an opportunity to ask you guys questions. So with that, let's please bring up the spotlights. And again, you guys know the drill. Try to keep it to one question, okay? Just so that everyone gets a turn. No hugs, no autographs, no questing, because I will be the bad cop in this situation with pleasure, but I'm so excited for this. This is going to be a fabulous panel. We'll start it off over here.
Hi. I have a question for both of you guys. Is how do you feel about you're now a member of this crazy fandom for basically the rest of your lives, and just how do you feel about being thrown into this crazy mess of all of us who are going to follow you no matter where you go or what you do?
I mean, I was going to say I was into it, and then you said you were going to follow me everywhere. No, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I'm very into this crazy mess of fandom. You guys are amazing.
I've increased my security.
It's definitely interesting watching all the different incarnations, and people are passionate about that sort of era when they watched, you know, is it sort of the classic episodes, the new episodes, and it's just fun to be able to share a stage with you for a show that is so iconic and is so much a part of a lot of people's fabric. You know, you got the gig, you become an actor, but to us, you become family in a way, so thank you guys for what you do. Let's go over here for a question. Oh, thanks. Go ahead.
My name is Madeline, and I made Peter a little present. I came home yesterday night after having a photo op with you, and I just felt compelled to make you something to thank you. And funny story, I lost it earlier.
Tell us what it is, and we will put up the APB.
At the con, and then these wonderful people brought it back to me, and I found it, and is it okay if I bring it up to you?
Here, I'll take it for
That's
you,
right.
by all means.
For a story like that, yes, of course we have to.
Because we are awesome here.
Thank you so much. If you just want to...
You are amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You just want to scan that?
No. I'm gonna open it and then pass it on down. Let's go over there for a question. Hi there.
Hi, my name is Alexis, and
Hello, Alexis.
outside yourself, who is your favorite doctor? And why?
Jodie Whittaker.
That's a great answer. I love that. Thank you very much for your question. Over here?
Hello, my name's Stephanie, and I was wondering, I know a lot of us in this room, whenever there's a new doctor that comes around, we kind of grieve, and we think, there's no way this doctor is going to be as good as the last one. But then throughout the show, and for the companions too, but then throughout the show...
Just as a side note there.
You're amazing, no really. And then we fall in love with the doctor and the companion all over again. So I was wondering, what's been the best part about being the doctor and the companion? It can be top 3 too.
Well, I just think it's just being Doctor Who is just an amazing experience, because you become, for the time that you are the Doctor, the centre of this affection and this warmth, and so to have that in your life is extraordinary. And it's just very difficult to describe. It's not, you know, it's not like it's I can't, you know, it's fantastic because you get good seats in restaurants. And, go to the wrong restaurants. But generally, I feel it's just a very, very special and privileged position to be in, and it's kind of life-changing. So it's just wonderful. It's wonderful to be the Doctor. That's what's great about it. You are Doctor Who for a while.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, for me, it's been such a whirlwind that has still kind of not stopped. I think, you know, from when I got the job and then having to keep it secret for 6 weeks and not being able to sleep for fear that I had told someone accidentally and then they were going to fire me. Yeah, and then just sort of, you know, and then from going to like being announced and being on the show and just, I mean, making it. I mean, actually, I'm going to take that back. I think one of the best things about it is getting to work with this lovely man here.
Watching some of the photos of you know, you two on set and sort of embracing, and it was very clear to see that the chemistry is very real, and that's lovely because it doesn't always exist, as I'm sure I don't have to, I talk like I know, I don't know, but I read that it doesn't always exist, and so it's nice to see it when it's genuine. Go ahead, question over here.
Thank you. First, welcome to Portland, and Peter.
Thank you.
You're my doctor.
Okay, you don't have an appointment. Okay, you look great. You look fine. How was your that itch that you had? See you next week.
But yes, what do you think of Portland so far? Have you had a chance to explore, see anything?
Unfortunately, the major tourist sites were closed to us due to the unfortunate fire you had here. But you have spectacular coffee shops. And you have the best motto of any city I've ever been in. What? Keep Portland winged. And it's great to see you doing your civic duty.
I've basically been eating constantly since I got here. So I was pretty surprised to be able to still fit into this reaction. Yeah, I mean the food here is great. How do you guys do anything else?
We don't.
Okay, maybe I need to get me one of those.
We can hook you up for sure. Question over here.
Hello, welcome to Oregon.
Thank you.
So my question is that each of the doctors has had their own personality. I know a lot of that is in the writing, but it also depends heavily on what the actor decides to do with the character. So what inspired you, Peter, to create your doctor, and would you make the same choices today?
Yeah. Well, I think I was, you know what, we had to consciously make a deliberate break from the direction that the show had been taken in with a very wonderful Matt, who is brilliant and has this incredible quality of being an old wise head on young shoulders and very cool, but being very accessible. As was David as well. He was brilliant in his way. So I wanted to try and somehow reconnect with the old show and the sort of mystery that was in that. And so I thought the only way to do that was to withdraw from the audience and make the Doctor less accessible. And yeah, I would do the same to an even greater extent, you know, because I think he should be a mystery. It's a really difficult situation when you have a show that's 50 years old. How do you make it mysterious? How do you know, every time you learn something more about the Doctor, you lose a little bit of mystery. So I like to keep them distant. So yeah, yep. That's what I did, and I would continue to do so.
Another question over here.
Hi, my name is Emily, and my mom and I are a huge fan of you guys. My question is, what is your least and favorite episode as the Doctor?
Somebody has a least favorite episode? I don't have any least favorite episodes. I think they're all pretty exciting. What's your least favorite? What's your least favorite?
Question over here.
Hi, my name is Brianna. I'm from Portland. First of all, welcome, and thank you so much for being here. It's really a pleasure to be speaking with you today. So my question is for both of you. And suppose the doctor came to you and asked you to join him. I obviously won't ask you if you would go with him because, duh, who wouldn't? Instead, I will ask you, where and when would you have him take you?
I would say maybe like 1960s, 1970s New York, because I reckon the afro would really fit in there. Or potentially I'd like to go and see, watch a play at Shakespeare's Globe in the time it was actually created and was 5 hours long and there was prostitutes wandering around. This has got weird now, hasn't it? I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to keep doing it.
I go to March the 11th, 2014, because that's when I lost this really great pair of shades that I had. I know where I left them. When I went back, they were gone.
Neither of you would go off planet?
Off planet?
Where and when? The doctor can take you anywhere.
He wants his sunglasses.
I can't go anywhere without your shades.
Thank you. Question over here.
What were these?
Hi, I'm Andrew.
Hello, Andrew. No, I agree, baby. It's all good.
Okay, so this is for both of you. So what was the most awkward moment that happened to you on the set, not while recording, of Doctor Who?
We're both very cool and assured people, so we just don't get awkward.
I think I had a sort of fairly awkward moment with the first time I worked with the Daleks, which was that I was new, so even though I was a fan of the show, I don't want to destroy anybody's illusions here, but there's someone inside. So I'm really sorry. But, and that person said to me, "Would you like to rehearse?" But there's no Dalek here. So his name's Barnaby. He's fantastic. Talented, clever man, clever painter, smart, clever. Look at his Twitter, he's amazing. And so Barnaby rehearsed with me, standing in a corner, like this. We're rehearsing.
Thank you. Question over here.
Hi, Peter. This question is for you, and I'm going to try and say this without bawling because you're destroying me slowly with your slow leaving of the show. I picked up on something online, and I have to ask, was your outfit for the last couple of episodes inspired by David Bowie's Lazarus video, as it looks like you're wearing his suit? And also, how much influence did David Bowie have upon you in your career and also his return as the Doctor?
It was, the costume wasn't a conscious attempt to echo that. And in fact, I think we've made, because of the way the episodes were written, we sort of knew that I had to get into a costume like 3 episodes before we reached my final episode. So no, because that was just a version of the original coat that I had worn when I started, which was a kind of a sort of a Paul Smith kind of mod sort of coat. So there wasn't a conscious tribute to him or anything, but I guess he's had such an influence on me and my generation that he kind of keeps appearing all the time. He sent out so many ripples, and I used to love that whole kind of look he had when he was, you know, the thin white tunic and the shirt buttoned down. And I just always thought that looked so cool. And so many people do that. David Lynch does that. You know, he looks amazing with his, and just not having a tie is somehow a little bit weird. But also I thought that would be really useful for people. They could have a Doctor Who costume without having to spend very much money. They could just button up their shirt and they'd be there. But no, Bowie's, you know, for someone of my age, that's he was an incredibly powerful influence, and I can't really believe that he's not here anymore, because he did so much. Just an incredible musician and force in art, and just a guy from Brixton who was extraordinary, fantastic.
Thank you for the question. Over here?
Hi. I remember one of your first interviews you had after you were announced as the Doctor. You were talking about being shown the console, and then you're just like, no, I got this. And I was actually curious if there was anything actually surprising about stepping into the role of the Doctor.
The hours that he works. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he had to be up at 6:30 every day, and he had to be there till 8 o'clock at night, and then have, like, you know, an hour's break, an hour's looking at lines, and then go to bed. No. There's nothing particularly, I mean, it's the TARDIS, he's the Doctor, he roams through time and space, blowing up monsters. What else is there to know?
Thank you for the question, and over here.
What made you want to act in Doctor Who, for both of you?
Just because it's an amazing, fun show. There's no other show like it, I think, in the world. It's a monster show. Monster shows don't exist anymore. You know, there used to be a few of them around in the 60s, but shows with, you know, people in rubber suits pretending to be from other planets are sadly very few on the ground anymore. So getting to act with monsters is just like doing stuff you do in the playground when you're a kid. And also just to get the chance to pretend to be Doctor Who is amazing. It's just an amazing world to step into, isn't it?
It's so amazing, and it's I think one of the greatest parts of it is that kind of every episode is a completely different, sort of embraces like a different genre while still having the monsters that you blow up, which is just wonderful. You know, like one day you're doing like, you know, we're on a different planet, like fighting emoji robots, and then, you know, the next day you're in a full Victorian period costume on like ice, an iced over Thames with like a massive version of Westminster Bridge, like above you. It's insane. I mean, every day was so different, and so it's so exciting. It's basically the best show on TV.
Thank you. Good question. Over here.
Hi, my name is Sam. My wife and I are big fans of the show, and we like silly things. I don't know if you noticed, but the show's kind of silly. In any case, she's playing so straight. She couldn't join me here today, unfortunately. She's taking a trip to Vancouver, and then we're going on a cruise. It's going to be our 15th wedding anniversary next month.
Congratulations!
Yeah. In any case, we watched the first episode that you, Peter, did, Series 8, I guess it was, the silly one with the dinosaur in London, and you discovered that you're Scottish, and you had a line that just like floored me when you said it. You're like, I'm Scottish, I can complain about things.
names now.
And I half think that might have been improvised, but I was wondering if you could tell my wife, Jen, who's not, Niffer is her name, Niffer. It's like the second half of Jennifer. I was wondering if you could let her know that we've been married 15 years now, she can complain.
Mrs. Niffer. Is your second name Niffer?
No, Niffer is her first name.
Jen, her first name is?
Her first name is Jennifer. Yeah.
And you're very cleverly, he's blushed.
Yeah.
That's clever. Congratulations, Jen. You're gonna have such a fun life. So you're 15 years married?
Yeah, 17 years.
And you want me to tell her?
She can complain now.
She can complain. Okay, where is she? She's in Vancouver. Yeah, so I don't understand how this is working. You got her on the phone? Oh, you got a camera! Okay, Jen, Niffer. Jen Niffer. You can complain now.
Over here for a question.
I was just wondering what the most fun you've had on set is.
We actually take our jobs very seriously. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of serious concentration and depth that I can tell. Yeah. So no, there's no laughter.
No carry on.
Thank you. Over here for a question.
Hi, my name is Shannon. I've got a question for each of you. Pearl, one of my favorite lines of yours was the line about the penguin with his ass on fire. And I was wondering if that one was part of the script or improvised. And then Peter, I was wondering, you've directed and written in the past, like things like Franz Kafka's "It's a Wonderful Life," and I was wondering if you were asked to come back and write or direct an episode of Doctor Who, if you'd want to do it, and if you would.
It was in the script. We have to thank Stephen Moffat for that. I can't take credit for it as much as I would like to.
No, I don't think I worked out. I think I hugely admire the directors and writers on the show. I see how hard they work. I see the challenge that they have. I mean, we all love the show. The show doesn't really have enough money, really doesn't have enough time. The fact that it works out so well is due to the commitment and the talent of those people. And I don't think I have enough spades to do what they do. So, and also I want to rest.
Thank you. Question over here?
Hi, my name is Tom. I got a good question. You were in a band and you got to play the guitar on Doctor Who. I can tell you enjoyed it. Are we going to see that in the last episode at Christmas time? Just a nice farewell goodbye?
You mean like whole Jimi Hendrix kind of Star Spangled Banner kind of group? Well, that would be giving it away, I can't tell. You'll have to wait till Christmas Day to see it.
Go ahead over here.
Hi, thanks for coming out. It's awesome to see you both. I was wondering if there's ever a celebrity that either of you have met that caused you to like really freak out and be really excited.
Well, when I was a kid, I met there's a wonderful actor who was recently recreated in the Star Wars movie called Peter Cushing. Who was brought back to life through computer magic in Rogue One. But he was a very famous horror movie star in the UK, and he used to play Dr. Van Helsing. He was the real Dr. Van Helsing, the only Dr. Van Helsing who defeated Dragon. I met him when I was a kid, and that was really exciting. And I got his autograph, and in fact his autograph is because we share the same initials. And he's Peter Cushing and I'm Peter Capaldi, and so I copied him. I turned my signature into his. So if you have my autograph, it's a little echo from Dr. Van Helsing. Or the Grand Moff Tarkin.
I haven't met Beyonce yet, so I'm still waiting. It's gonna happen. I would freak out.
You would? You would just lose it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd be gone.
Now it's gotta happen. It just has to happen. Someone in here knows someone. Let's go ahead, question over here.
Hello, my name is Jade.
She's a friend of mine.
Hello, Jade.
Hi, Steph. I am an aspiring actor, and I was wondering, Peter, what is your process when you get those big speeches? How do you break it down? How do you kind of go about crafting your performance when you have such rich, complex material?
I think you just have to figure out what it's like. All acting, you just figure out what it is you want. You know, what does the character want? What's the character after? And everything else magnetizes to that. So it's really storytelling. It's just understanding the story and understanding what the point of that speech is in the story, and trying to deliver that plot point or whatever it might be, and trying to color all the other bits in an interesting way. The thing is, we're very, very lucky on the show because it's written so well. So if something's written really well, it kind of tells you what to do. How about you? What do you think?
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of big speeches as well.
Yeah, that first one in the first episode is like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just it's when it's really well written. It kind of it tells you what you're supposed to do with it. You know, you kind of you find the parts of it that you're supposed to emphasize. And you know, as you were saying, in terms of like what you want, it's not always what's written. Sometimes the words can be a way of distracting from what you actually want. You know, or they can be a way of, you know, that you're getting to it in a very roundabout way. So it's not always what's written there, but it's you know, you have to kind of use that to drive through and find, you know, what the point of what you're saying is, and give it a lot of light and shade and that kind of thing. So it's interesting to listen to. So so people kind of engage with the parts of it that you want them to engage with.
And I was wondering, I know you can't tell us anything plot-wise, but I was wondering, Peter, if you got to see Jodie's first moments as 13, in a yes or no, did you get to see Jodie's first moments as 13?
Your mom would be so proud.
No.
Thank you very much.
Question over here.
Hi there. Kind of along the same lines, I was just watching the Zygon inversion the other day, and one of my absolute favorite speeches is the war speech. Did that come easily to you?
No.
It was phenomenal.
None of it comes easily. Thank you. Well, it was a very good speech, but I must just tell you a very quick story about that, which was there was a great deal of commotion in the studio that day. For some reason, lots of people decided to visit, and it's really hard when you've got it was like 10 pages long, and it's hard to kind of be having to also say, hello, welcome to the set, come and see the TARDIS, when you're going, oh, I've got 10 pages to remember. But there was, the first time I did the speech, I was very pleasantly surprised because I heard this sort of little round of applause coming from the monitors. We have behind the screen, we have TV monitors where people are watching. but it was unusual. Applause. And it was the American ambassador. And the American ambassador had been doing a trip. He was visiting Cardiff. The American ambassador at that time was very, very diligent about reaching out to the whole of the United Kingdom. Spent a lot of time traveling around the whole of the country, not just being in London, but understanding British people, understanding the situations they were in, understanding their lives. And he'd been in Cardiff that day, and he popped in to see us. And I thought it was really interesting that he applauded that speech.
I'm not surprised.
Thank you. Over here?
I feel like we're kind of on a speeches theme. One thing that sets Doctor Who apart from a lot of other great roles, you have 12 actors play Hamlet, they all give the same speech. And each Doctor has had his own unique material, and your speech to the Zygons is something people have been taking to conventions and asking other doctors to read. My question is, as a fan of the show, as an actor who's watched the show for all these years, have there been any speeches other doctors have gotten to deliver that you thought, man, that would be fun to play, or I think I could knock that one out of the park?
I think it's not so much that you think I can knock it out of the park or compete or sometimes there are speeches where you think it would be nice to have said that, but then you think, oh, I did.
Question over here. As the Doctor, do you prefer the classic episodes or the newer episodes?
Oh, I think they're all great. Every single one.
Over here.
Which episode was your favorite to film?
I think maybe episode 8, The Lie of the Land. I got to wear a really cool boiler suit. It was really comfortable. So, you know, I felt pretty chilled, you know, my boots were flat, it was great. I just had a really nice time. No, I did really enjoy that episode. It was very, there was a lot of, it was just very bizarre. It was kind of very sort of 1984 kind of vibe going on with it, and I really enjoyed it. Apart from that day we were outside with the drone. It was so cold. So apart from that day, that was my favourite.
I have lots of favourites, so I don't like to pick one. I mean, every day really is great. I mean, you just have a terrific time on the show, and it's be unfair to pick one episode. But I forgot the question. Did I have a good time, or do I have a favourite episode? Was it?
Favourite episode to film.
Favourite episode to film. No, they've all been great. But some of them are more stranger than others, and you know, I liked Into the Dalek. I thought that was great fun. It was such a funny idea to be reduced, as in Fantastic Voyage, into a tiny little capsule and propelled into a Dalek. That was good. And also we blew up a lot of Daleks.
Thank you. Question over here.
Hi, being that Doctor Who is a foreigner, how do you think he would feel about Brexit?
I was actually wondering if that question, but that's a clever spin on it, because I was wondering if it was going to happen.
I don't think he'd be very happy. But I think he would know that it would be all right. That it's going to be sorted out.
Hi, so I've been watching the show forever, and I was watching it one day, and my younger brother walked in, and was like, "What is this show?" And I was like, "Oh, you haven't seen it, it's great." And it happened to be like you in like series 8, and he watched the whole thing, and it's kind of our bridge together. So you're our favorite Doctor, you're awesome, and Pearl, you're amazing as the companion. You guys are such a dynamic. And I was just wondering, the episodes with the monks, how did you feel about being blind? How was that for you?
Well, it was it's quite hard to act because they didn't do anything to my eyes. I thought they were going to do something like give me contact lenses or something like that would make my eyes all weird. But they didn't, because they run out of money. This is classic Doctor Who. So I say, oh, you're blind, just be blind. So I just do my, poor Pearl would be, I'd be looking at Pearl, but then I think, the director would say, you know, you've forgotten you're blind. So then I'd have to remember to not look at Pearl, but not look at her, kind of try and hear her voice and stuff. So it was a lot harder than I thought. I think Pearl had to put up with more from me in that, because I couldn't, because you normally look in eyes, don't you? You normally look at each other.
And it's quite instinctive to do that as well. When you're talking to someone, you look in their eyes, and it's quite hard when they're kind of going.
The only way I can do this, being as I don't have any crazy special effect contact lenses since they couldn't afford, is to not look at you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fantastic.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Question over there. Peter, I'm a huge fan of Local Hero. It's my favorite movie. And I watch it almost every year. My husband and I have been to the town where it was filmed. And I just wondered if you could give us an anecdote or a memory or something about filming that movie. I did.
It was the very first day we filmed with, I was 23, and I was on a beach with Bob Lancaster, who was, to those who may not know him, was one of the all-time great Hollywood movie stars. And I was standing on the beach with him, and we were doing this scene, and it was supposed to be a balmy Scottish evening, and it was snowing. This is it's snowing. I'm like, welcome to Scotland. And if you watch the film, because we filmed his scenes at the start, although they don't really show up till the end of the film, the director said just wait, and by the afternoon it had cleared. But if you look in the scenes at the end of the film, and you look on the mountains in the islands just beyond the horizon, they're all covered in snow. So that's your clue there. But it was great fun, good fun to do. Thank you.
And a question over here?
If there were no licensing issues when it came to music, would there be any specific lick or solo that you would have loved to play on the Doctor Who episode?
I always wanted to play Get It On. You know, the two. Back and gone. Get It On. Basically because it's easy and it sounds great.
Good question, thank you. Over here?
Hello. Hello. I actually kind of wish that Jenna could be here for this one because it kind of comes from her, one of her lines. It's, what is your favorite book? Both of you.
What, in real life?
Yes.
How did you choose your favourite book?
Yeah, how do you choose? Yeah. You go first.
Do you even have time to read? I mean, for real, like outside of this, you guys are incredibly busy.
I mean, I have been alive for 30 years, so...
I did better reading before I started. Now, like I can't.
Now
I
I've read books for a while,
actually.
No, it's a good point. Maybe I should start. I remember reading The Colour Purple, and that I don't think I've ever sobbed quite so much. I don't know if that means it's my favourite or it's if I hate it because it hurts so much. But it's always stayed with me. So I guess it's one of my favourites.
I agree with Pearl. It's different. You can't have a favourite book because there's so many, and there's other ones that you haven't read as well. But I think I like The Unbearable Lightness of Being. I always liked. I thought that was a great book.
Question over here.
Hello.
How are you doing? What's your name?
Graydon.
Graydon, great to see you, Graydon. Did we meet before?
Yes.
We did a picture, didn't we?
Yes.
You're cool. You want to ask something?
What's your favorite companion?
Hands down, no questions asked. Sorry, it's K9.
That was a good question. Over here.
Hello, guys. My daughter and I are both huge fans. She's mad at me because she can't be here. But she's too good for this world, 11 years old, and wants to know, did you guys make friends while you were filming?
Yes, of course. I mean, I think Pearl did a fantastic job, because what Pearl had to do, Pearl had to step into a juggernaut. She had to step onto a moving, huge machine that was careering down the road. It doesn't stop for anyone. And she had to step onto that while it was moving. And that's hard. It's like I had that experience when I started. You know, you don't realize the scale of this thing, and suddenly you're there every day, and suddenly you still have to get up at 6:30 the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and it's hard, you know. So I think, you know, it can be quite a shock. I found it quite a shock, you know, and I think Pearl did a fabulous job, because she came in, and from day one she delivered absolutely this beautiful performance. Of life and thoughtfulness and heart and love, and that's what you need to do, but it's not easy, and she did it. So obviously that was a major cause of respect and I hope friendship.
Thank you. We have time for one more question over here.
Hi, my name's Hope, and I'm actually from Seattle, Washington. My question is, what crossover would you like to see on Doctor Who?
What's a crossover?
Give me a little more information about what you're looking for.
Like crossover, like Sherlock.
Oh.
Supernatural.
Just like Game of Thrones. Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Yeah!
I like to see Game of Thrones. Doctor of the White Walkers? What White Walkers? Where are they? These White Walkers. Point me at the White Walkers.
As I like to do, I'm going to join you on the couch for a selfie. It is a moderator's privilege. Oh, look at what did